All right, the governor's here and we can get started. Can you all hear me? Great. Welcome. I'm sorry for a little bit of a delay, but I want to introduce you to what we're doing here today. My name is Jeannie Allen. I am the founder and CEO of the Center for Education Reform and the director of the Yass Foundation for Education. And it's my pleasure to be here. It's been a couple of years since I've been in Arizona, and I have the distinct honor of welcoming to the podium my colleague, my friend, and benefactor of the Yass Prize and the Stop for Education Awards, Janine Yass, in a couple of minutes. But first, I want to give you some background. So for those of you who are not entirely familiar with why we're here, which you'll hear about in a second, I've known Janine for 25 years or so. About 25 years ago, she was looking to find out why schools were failing so badly in so many places. In her native Philadelphia, she didn't understand why school after school, so many parents and students were zoned to schools that just did not perform, and yet in neighborhoods like she and others lived in, they did. And so she went on an expedition to find answers, and that's when we got to know one another, and she joined not only the board of CER and began making a difference, but began to learn around the country and help start an organization called the Philadelphia School Partnership, which went on to help improve schools in all different sectors. We're sector agnostic, public, private, charter, ed tech, nonprofit, it doesn't matter. We just want schools that are great for kids. And so we began this journey together for the Yass Prize and the Stop for Arizona Education Awards because we knew that there were people out there who were doing so many great things in states like Arizona that needed more support to be able to expand to serve more kids. I'll say one more thing before bringing Janine up. Yesterday, some of you may know, we announced the national quarterfinalists for the Yass Prize. This is a competition that was started a couple of years ago, and you'll hear the backstory in a minute. But it is just the beginning of our work and not the end. And while we're here today to honor just a handful, or I should say to make awards to just a handful of the organizations that applied, we are here to honor all of you for your work. And the good news is that we're getting to know you now, and you can help frame and incentivize and frankly influence all the work we're doing together. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Janine Yass.
Thank you, Jeannie. I can't believe it's been 25 years. We don't look that old, do we? Can you hear me okay? Yeah. All right. Can't really hear. So thank you guys all for coming out here today. My heart is just overflowing with gratitude and thanks to especially the children that turned out here today, to see that there are people around the country that are behind what you guys deserve for your education. And this started out as a prize during COVID, the Yass Prize and the Stop Awards, but we really hope that eventually it will become more of a movement and more than a prize as more people and educators and organizations find out about it and spread the word that money should follow the children to the school of their choice. It's the best school that family has available, and the reason we're here in Arizona is because of this brave governor and what he has done for the, during his term in office. I'll just dial back a little bit. The beginning of this award was really during those dark days of COVID. We were asked to help the Philadelphia School District and charter schools around the state by supplying Chromebooks. And we thought that was going to be the magic solution to distribute Chromebooks to children and let them go off and learn on their own. Well, it didn't take long to realize that you cannot replace educators with a Chromebook. And when I went to visit a lot of the after-school programs that families were relying on for their children during COVID so they could go to work, I'd walk behind these Chromebooks, and oftentimes they were blank screens. And they were still receiving workbook packages like I received 40 years ago when I went to school. That the technology and content that has evolved with great educators and tech people has really not made its way down to the child in so many, especially in poorer areas. So we were really depressed. Jeannie and I talked a lot during those times because it was just, everyone read the news. Schools were closed, parents were really struggling, and I was actually, my parents were both very ill at the time, elderly in their 90s. I spent a lot of time in healthcare, visiting nurses. There were so many prizes for nurses and doctors at the time because they were coming through and they were not turning their back on what they needed to do. And I said to Jeannie, I said, you know, we're finding out, not just in Philadelphia, a few people that really did show up for kids, but we started hearing great stories about people across the country that were showing up for kids and weren't taking no for an answer and weren't closing down. One of the people, Janelle, who's here today, was with the Black Mothers Forum, received one of our first grants because she said, we are going to form learning pods for our children, just like wealthier people were doing outside of inner cities. And we were just so in awe of what you were doing, and she was one of our first grants and actually is going to be going on to the national award winner this year. So I'll follow Janelle's story this year. I got to talk to another Arizonian organization, Prenda, which Kelly is here today, and that was also so inspiring, and I try to repeat what Kelly was doing to spread that word in Pennsylvania, but somehow a lot of the bureaucrats did not like that idea of losing kids from their schools and going off on their own and taking their children away from schools. And I had no idea, nothing became more clear than during COVID, the politics behind all this. So that's why we're here in Arizona today, because when schools did reopen in states like Pennsylvania and New York, parents were back into their failing school systems, even though they did realize during COVID, if they got into a safe space with good learning, they preferred that, they realized. A lot of people realized that at the end of COVID, that for some, that even that was a horrible time, it was better for education than what they had before. And Jeannie and I had realized this was going to happen eventually in the country, that people were going to realize there were different choices for children. But none of the politicians are really brave enough to stand up to say, you know what, we're going to let this funding follow the child. And that is the beautiful sustainability piece in our award. And when we found out what Governor Ducey was doing here in Arizona, he became our hero. So that's why we're here. When we start with people, a lot of parents and politicians are very naive. They say, money can't follow. You're destroying public schools. How can money follow the child to a school of their choice? They can't even wrap their head around that. And now we have a model and we have a poster child for how to do this across the 50 states. So we are honored to be here, and I'm so proud to be in the same room with you and introduce you to award the first prize named after you, Governor Ducey, the Ducey Prize. It's our honor to have you here.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see everybody here. I want to say thank you to Janine and to Jeannie for everything, for the kind introduction, for being partners in this pursuit, and today is a big day. I want to say how grateful I am for your generosity and your stewardship as the founder of the Yass Foundation for Education. And welcome to Arizona. You are now in the state. You are now in the state that is the gold standard for educational freedom. Over the last 8 years, and it has taken all of those 8 years, and all of that effort and all the help of so many community leaders and parents and a great team in the governor's office, we've added more and more options for parents when it comes to their children's education. And these options have included things like funding modernized transportation models, expanding open enrollment, welcoming new charter schools, and much, much more. This year, I was proud to sign the most expansive school choice legislation in the history of our nation. Now, every K-12 student in Arizona can access a high-quality education that fits their needs through our ESA program known as Empowerment Scholarship Accounts. And again, I want to thank Janine and Jeannie so much for their help and support out of state, knowing that this is something that can reform public education across our country. I believe it can renew our nation. I'm proud that it started in Arizona, and I want to give a special thank you to someone who I think is very brave and very outspoken and cares so much about our children, and that's Janelle Wood of the Black Mothers Forum. This is not a partisan idea. This is not a Democrat or Republican idea. This is a pro-parent, pro-child idea. And it started here in Arizona with the support across the board from our citizens and leadership from our legislature. Arizona is blazing the way forward on this, and we know we can never do too much when it comes to giving families more options. That's why our students have the freedom to attend and benefit from innovative and transformative education providers like the ones that we have here today. I want to say that I'm especially grateful as well in our legislature to leaders like Representative Ben Toma for sponsoring this historic legislation. I would have not been able to get this done without the leadership of Speaker Rusty Bowers and President Karen Fann, and I needed every vote for a majority in our House and in our Senate. I see Representative Shauna Bullock here as well. I want to say thank you to her. She's been a longtime advocate for school choice and knows how long and hard the road has been to get here. Together with the legislature and our community partners, we've laid the framework for the rest of the country to follow. So I want to say thank you to the school representatives, the educators, advocates, and parents for joining us here today. I also want to say to Catherine Haley of the State Board of Education, thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for the good work on that board. And last but not least, welcome to the stars of today's events, the 2022 Stop for Arizona Education Awardees. And as Janine mentioned, we are gathered here today to recognize and honor these incredible awardees. Now, the STOP Award stands for Sustainable, Transformational, Outstanding, and Permissionless Education. It recognizes dedicated educators who go above and beyond for their students, focusing especially on students in need. In addition, these awardees have scaled and expanded their models to serve more students, no matter what the challenge or obstacle is in front of them. Their work, coupled with our commitment to expanding school choice in Arizona, will provide families with unprecedented opportunity for their children's education. And with that, I want to turn it back to Janine to unveil the 2022 STOP awardees. Janine?
Okay, this is the exciting part. So on my way out the door this morning at 5:30 in the morning, my husband Jeff, who I just want to give a big shout out to, he's turned me on to this whole concept of school choice when I met him, and it's been a wonderful thing to have in common with someone and be on the same side of the issue with someone for all these years. He's a huge fan of Governor Ducey, and he regrets that he can't be here, so I said, we're going out, and last night he read over the profile of all the award winners, and he said, on the way out the door, he said, let's double all the prizes. So.
Accepted.
Okay. So we are going to double the amount of all the awards.
Wow, that is a great surprise. Well, thank you, Jeff.
So I'm going to announce the first 5 awards, and then we're going to hand it over to you, Governor, to announce your award. Okay? Michael Muscante, our colleague.
So our first awardee is a fearless and statewide parent-centric organization devoted to helping families secure the best opportunities for their children. They play a pivotal role in helping the state's ESA be accessible to all who need it, and they ensure that Arizona parents know their school options, connecting them with the resources to make decisions that are accessible and equitable.
The first award goes to Love Your School.
Our second award goes to a private school who will be fortunate enough to expand to over 60 students and engage all of them in an education environment with a highly individualized education that permits them the freedom and responsibility to develop their own passion for education.
The next award goes to the Keno School.
This next school is located in a rural community, and the next closest faith-based option is 113 miles away. With this award, they will be able to train new teachers, serve more students, and add both a middle and high school, expanding by over 50.
And that school is Our Lady of the Lake.
This next school will work to develop a first-of-its-kind, faith-based blending online learning program throughout the entire diocese, using its pandemic-era experience to help the community potentially double the reach of their outstanding educational programs by over 400 students.
And this award goes to St. John the Evangelist.
This elementary school didn't skip a beat to deliver for students during COVID, nor has it since. It's a tech-focused school, including a makerspace and robotics team that enriches their core programs. The school's active interest in and ability to expand across their campus and beyond is a testament to their commitment to helping students succeed, and they will expand by over 100.
And this award goes to St. Mary Basha. Jeannie also has a surprise announcement.
So before we ask the governor to make the final Ducey Prize for now $1 million, we would like to also announce just a gift to a school that was not intended, but frankly, we walked in and we were so impressed by your ability to, and your interest in bringing so many people. It makes me want to cry. So we're going to give Believe I Can Academy $50,000.
Thank you. My pleasure. Yes, I think that's more appropriate. Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Did I mess up?
You're so humble, the governor, for a governor. He wants me to announce this. He will present it, though. So the grand prize for the Ducey Award
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
will go to,
Yep, wait. This, let me put that back right there. This STEM prep school for students with autism delivers both education and workforce preparation. They will be able to create 5 micro schools throughout Metro Phoenix in 2023, reaching 100 more students, and share their model with others to be able to better serve neurodivergent students across the state and, more importantly, the country.
And this prize goes to the Science Prep Academy. So I want to say the Science Prep Academy of Phoenix helps neurodivergent and autistic students interested in STEM transition into the workforce in outstanding and transformational ways. With this award, Science Prep will have the capacity to open another 5 micro school locations and increase to 800 students throughout Metro Phoenix. So let's give one more round of applause for this recipient and all our recipients today. So I want to again say thank you to everyone who's here. You are all a part of what has made Arizona the #1 school in the country for school choice, a real trailblazer and a pioneer and a model for other states in which to follow, and we are happy to help along the way. I want to thank Janine again for her generosity. I want to thank Jeannie for being a spokesperson across the nation. I want to thank all of our educators and champions here for bringing this to life. It's a great day for Arizona educators and advocates. We're proud in each and every one of these schools, great innovators and stakeholders who continue to put our children first in the state of Arizona. Thank you all, and God bless. Yep. Thank you again, guys. You bet.